If you are burning out from social media, you need to stop what you are doing and listen very closely. Because what you are feeling right now, that exhaustion, that creative fatigue, that sense of shouting into the void, it isn't just part of the grind. It is a warning sign. There is a silent epidemic killing more small businesses in the 2020s than inflation, taxes, or competition combined. And nobody wants to talk about it because the people profiting from it are the platforms themselves. We have been sold a lie that says visibility equals profitability, a lie that says if you aren't posting, you don't exist. Let's look at the reality. You are likely spending 15 to 20 hours a week feeding a machine that resets to zero every 24 hours. You are building an empire on quicksand. Today, we are going to dismantle the social media hamster wheel. I'm going to show you the math behind why social media is statistically the worst place to build a foundation. And I'm going to introduce you to the asset-based approach that allows you to work 60% less while making 300% more. It sounds like hype, but it's just logistics. Let's break it down. To understand the trap, we have to look at a character we'll call Sarah. Sarah isn't just a hypothetical. She is an amalgamation of thousands of founders, coaches, and creators operating right now. Sarah is a productivity coach. She is brilliant at what she does, but she spends 2 years posting daily on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, X. She follows the playbook perfectly. She posts at 8 a.m. EST for maximum reach. She uses 12 carefully researched hashtags. She engages for 30 minutes before and after posting to warm up the algorithm. She creates trending reels pointing at text bubbles that pop up in time to the music. But here is the horror story hidden in the data. After 24 months of consistent execution, posting over 700 times, Sarah is making less profit than when she started. Why? Because she is spending 3 hours a day creating content. That is 21 hours a week. That is 1,092 hours a year. That is half of a full-time job. Those are hours she isn't serving clients. Hours she is building products. Hours she isn't resting. Sarah has trapped herself in a cycle of diminishing returns. She creates a post. It gets 500 impressions and 20 likes. She gets a dopamine hit. 6 hours later, the post is dead. It will never generate another lead again. To get that feeling back, she has to post again. She isn't a CEO, she is a hamster, and the wheel is owned by Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. Sarah isn't an anomaly. The data backs this up. A recent study analyzed solo business owners and found a terrifying correlation. 73% of founders who rely primarily on social media for lead generation report high to severe stress levels. But more damningly, they report lower profit margins compared to those who don't. Why? The cost of context switching. Every time Sarah stops her deep work to check a notification, her brain takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus. If she checks her phone 10 times a day, she has lost nearly 4 hours of cognitive peak performance. But here is the statistic that changes everything. The same study showed that businesses focusing on search-based content, SEO, YouTube search blogging, instead of feed-based content saw 340% more qualified leads and worked 60% fewer hours per week on marketing. Think about the leverage there. Sarah, social media. Posts 3x a day, gets 2 qualified leads a month. Content life, 24 hours. The strategist, search. Publishes 1 piece of content a week. Gets 50+ qualified leads a month. Content life 2 to 5 years. One is running a sprint that never ends. The other is planting an orchard that feeds them for a decade. We need to talk about what this does to you as a human being, because business metrics are one thing, but your life is another. Burnout doesn't just hurt your Q4 projections, it destroys your relationships. Let's go back to Sarah. Picture her life behind the scenes. She misses her daughter's school play. Physically, she is there, but mentally, she is panicking because her engagement on Instagram dropped 40% this week. She snaps at her husband during dinner because her carefully crafted LinkedIn carousel only got 5 likes. She stops hanging out with friends because she feels like a fraud. The algorithm has become her boss, and it is a terrible, abusive boss. Every platform update feels like a personal attack. Instagram pivots to Reels. Sarah's photography skills are now worthless. LinkedIn lowers organic reach. Sarah's 2 years of audience building evaporates. TikTok gets banned. Sarah loses her entire distribution channel. She is building someone else's mansion using her own bricks. But let's say Sarah hits a wall. She gets sick. She takes a week off. She expects her business to collapse. But something interesting happens. While she is lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, her phone pings. A lead. Then another. Then a sale. She traces them back. They didn't come from the reel she posted yesterday. They came from a blog post she wrote 6 months ago titled "How to Manage Executive Burnout." This is the light bulb moment. This is the difference between interruption marketing and attraction marketing. Social media is interruption marketing. You are standing in the middle of a crowded party shouting about your business while people are trying to look at photos of their friends' cats. You are noise. You are an annoyance. You have to dance to get attention. Search marketing is attraction marketing. When someone goes to Google and types "productivity coaching for executives," they are not browsing. They are not looking for entertainment. They are in pain, they have a problem, and they are actively hunting for a solution. When Sarah's blog post shows up, she isn't interrupting them, she is rescuing them. The intent is different. The social media lead is a tire kicker. The search lead is a buyer with a credit card in hand. So Sarah makes a radical decision. She fires the algorithm. She stops the daily posting, she deletes the apps from her phone, and she begins building what I call a content hub. A content hub is not a blog. A blog is a diary. A content hub is a strategic library of answers to your customers' most expensive problems. Here is the methodology Sarah uses to replace 20 hours of social media with 4 hours of strategic writing. Phase 1. The keyword forensic audit. She stops guessing what people want. She uses tools to find exactly what her ideal clients are typing into the search bar. She finds phrases like time management for busy professionals, how to delegate without guilt, executive coaching ROI. Phase 2, the definitive asset. She takes one of those topics per week. She doesn't write a 500-word fluff piece. She writes the definitive guide on the internet for that topic. She adds diagrams, templates, and deep psychological insights. Phase 3. The evergreen funnel. Inside that article, she offers a specific tool, a time audit worksheet, in exchange for an email address. The result? In 90 days, her traffic jumps from 200 visitors to 1,500. But these aren't random visitors. These are 1,500 people specifically looking for help with productivity. Her conversion rate explodes. She isn't chasing clients anymore, she is filtering them. This brings us to the most important investment principle of the digital age: owned versus rented media. Every day you spend building an audience on Instagram, TikTok, or LinkedIn, you are improving a property you do not own. You are a digital sharecropper. The landlord, the platform, can change the rent, reach, change the rules, algorithm, or evict you, ban, at any moment. Search traffic that leads to your website and your email list is owned media. No algorithm can take away your email list. No CEO change can delete your website archives. Sarah realizes that while she was chasing likes, a vanity metric, she should have been chasing equity. A library of 50 high-ranking articles is a digital asset. It has value, it can be sold. An Instagram account with declining engagement is a liability. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can hear the objection forming in your mind. But Viral Architect, isn't AI killing search? Isn't ChatGPT going to replace Google? Why write articles if AI just answers the questions? This is the most common excuse for staying on the hamster wheel, and it is wrong. Yes, AI creates generic answers. If your content is generic, AI will replace you. But AI cannot replicate human experience, nuance, and authority. When a CEO is looking for a coach, they don't want a generic list of tips generated by a bot. They want to know Sarah's perspective. They want to hear stories of how she helped a client navigate a crisis. They want connection. In an ocean of AI-generated noise, authentic, deep-dive human content becomes the premium product. Search isn't dying, it's evolving. And the people who provide deep, authoritative answers will win even bigger because the competition is too lazy to write them. So here is the choice you face today. You can continue to play the game of more. More posts, more reels, more stress, more burnout. You can hope that the algorithm gods smile upon you today, You can rent your success from platforms that do not care if you go bankrupt. Or you can decide to build something that belongs to you. The businesses that thrive in 2026 and beyond won't be the ones with the most followers. They will be the ones with the most valuable content libraries. Content that gets found when you are sleeping. Content that builds trust before you ever speak to the prospect. Content that compounds in value over time, rather than decaying in 24 hours. Your future self is begging you to stop running on the wheel. Start building the foundation. Start owning your traffic. The question isn't whether you should build a content hub that generates predictable traffic. The question is, how much longer can you afford not to?